One important 7 of 9 Star Trek Voyager episode was almost much more brutal. One of 7 of 9's, Jerry Ryan, most important episodes in Star Trek Voyager Season 4 almost had a completely different storyline. As a late addition to Voyager's cast of characters, 7 had only half the amount of time other characters did for development during the show's run. However, this didn't stop her from becoming not only one of the series' most popular characters, but also one of the most interesting characters in any Star Trek movie or TV show. As a former Borg drone rediscovering her humanity, 7's arc on Voyager dealt mainly with recovering from the trauma of what the Borg had done to her. One of the earliest examples of this was Voyager Season 4, Episode 6, The Raven, which saw a Borg homing signal draw 7 to the crashed former ship of her parents, Aaron, Nikki Tyler, and Magnus Hansen, David Anthony Marshall. The Raven was an intense and emotional exploration of 7's past, but the episode's storyline was almost very different. Star Trek Voyager's The Raven almost had 7 of 9 go on a killing spree. In an interview with the official Star Trek Voyager magazine, Voyager writer Brian Fuller revealed that the first draft of The Raven was the opposite of what the episode became. Although 7 began to revert to her Borg ways during the episode, Fuller stated that in the original story her transformation was more complete, and that her subsequent attack on the crew was devastating, with her essentially going on a killing spree that seemingly ended in her death. This would have turned The Raven from a complex story about 7's trauma to an action-packed bloodbath. Read Fuller's full quote below. The first draft was called Resurrection, and it was all about 7 of 9 being resurrected as a Borg. The aliens abduct her and tweak her, and essentially she goes on this mad killing spree. The first draft had all these huge chase sequences of the crew trying to get her before she got to engineering to blow up the warp core, until this last final moment where she's crawling towards the core. Torres has essentially blown her legs off, and Janeway is saying, "Stop this," while 7 pleads, "Please kill me." Some of the elements Fuller describes are still present in The Raven. 7 did revert to a more Borg drone-like state after the homing signal from her parents' ship activated her latent implants. Likewise, 7 did still attack members of Voyager's crew, stunning 2 security personnel in her escape and incapacitating Tuvok, Tim Russ, taking him hostage on board her shuttle. However, the brutal killing is not present, nor is the idea of the episode's aliens of the week being the cause. This undoubtedly helped The Raven become a much better episode. Why Star Trek Voyager changed The Raven for the better. Speaking to Cinefantastic about The Raven, Voyager producer Brannon Braga perfectly summed up the explanation of why the episode's original premise was changed. Braga stated, "When we got the draft in, it was evident that it was a soulless, empty kind of show, and that it had to be about something. Indeed, a full episode of 7 brutally attacking members of Voyager's crew would have been a fairly soulless premise, but it also likely would have done irreparable harm to 7's reputation. Since 7 was such a new character on Voyager, it would have been a mistake to make her the villain of an episode so early on. Having audiences watch her kill so many people would have hurt their opinion of her, but seeing 7 as a child and learning about what she went through at the hands of the Borg made her more human and in turn more likable. Star Trek Voyager made the right decision in changing The Raven's premise, and the episode ultimately has become quintessential viewing. To understand 7 as a character, Star Trek almost showed a universe where the Borg beat Janeway. Star Trek Prodigy Season 2's Cracked Mirror episode almost showed a universe where the Borg defeated Captain Catherine Janeway, Kate Mulgrew, and the USS Voyager, according to co-executive producer Aaron J. Walke. Star Trek Prodigy season saw the young Starfleet hopefuls of the USS Protostar work with Wesley Crusher, Will Wheaton, to save every Star Trek timeline, including the Mirror Universe. The Protostar kids and Captain Chakotay, Robert Beltran, also visited the Mirror Universe, coming face-to-face with Mirror Janeway and Mirror Chakotay. In an exclusive interview with Screen Rant about the Star Trek deep lore in Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Aaron J. Walke revealed that one of the ideas left out of Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Episode 14, Cracked Mirror, was an alternate reality where the Borg assimilated Captain Janeway and the USS Voyager. Star Trek Prodigy's young heroes would have been forced to team with the Mirror Janeway against the Borg. Read Aaron's quote below. "On the cutting room floor, I think we also had maybe one more level on that Cracked Mirror episode. That was an episode where the Borg won because that felt like a fun Janeway thing. And I think we saw a little bit of that universe in parallels with the famous Riker thing, where he's commanding the damaged Enterprise when they have all these Enterprises coming from different universes. And he's like, I'm not going back. I can't go back. And then he explodes. I think that's haunted Trekkies' dreams for so long that we wanted to see. Well, what would Janeway be doing in that universe? And in that universe, they had all been assimilated, and Voyager had become like a Borg ship. And so they had to get through that universe to alongside the mirror Janeway to try to undo this mess. But you know, if it was a 44-minute episode, oh, the tales we could have woven. Star Trek Prodigy finally showed Voyager's mirror universe. One of the many fun aspects of Star Trek Prodigy Season 2 is its unexpected foray into Star Trek Voyager's version of the mirror universe in Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Episode 14, Cracked Mirror. Captain Chakotay, Dalrell, Brett Gray, Gwendala, Ella Pernell, and the USS Protostar crew find themselves aboard the ISS Voyager A commanded by the evil mirror Admiral Janeway. Cracked Mirror is also notable because it's now the furthest known point of the mirror universe seen in Star Trek canon. The 24th century mirror universe was last seen in Star Trek Deep Space Nine Season 7 when the Terran rebels defeated the oppressive Klingon Cardassian alliance. Star Trek Prodigy shows that the resurgent Terran Empire embraced their old ways of intergalactic conquest and launched a new Terran armada, including the ISS Voyager A. It's too bad Star Trek Prodigy Season 2 couldn't squeeze in Mirror Admiral Janeway teaming up with the USS Protostar crew to fight the Borg, but maybe it can happen if Netflix greenlights Star Trek Prodigy Season 3. No one in Star Trek knows Picard's real villain caused the Mars attack. Star Trek Prodigy Season 2's ending depicts the Mars attack that was the backbone of Star Trek Picard Season 1's events. But no one in Star Trek will know who was responsible for the devastation on Mars for almost 15 years. On April 5, 2385, First Contact Day, a 500 synthetics went rogue and destroyed the Utopia Planitia fleet yards on Mars. Over 92,000 souls lost their lives, and 20,000 starships were annihilated, crippling Starfleet and ending the United Federation of Planets' planned evacuation of the Romulan people from their sun-going supernova. Star Trek Picard Season 1 revealed that the architect of the Mars attack was Commodore O. Tamlin Tomita, the head of Starfleet Security. Also known as General Neater, O was secretly a Vulcan/Romulan hybrid and the head of the Conclave of Eight, a fanatical sect of the Romulan Tal Shiar called the Zhat Vash. In 2385, O presided over a Zhat Vash ritual called the Admonition, which uncovered a synthetic threat from another galaxy that could wipe out all biological life in Star Trek's known galaxy. The fearful Zhat Vash's solution was the Mars attack, and the result was the Federation banning synthetic life forms. Nobody knows Commodore O is Star Trek's real villain who caused the Mars attack. Remarkably, almost no one in Starfleet questions that the A500 androids were the cause of the Mars attack of 2385. Star Trek Prodigy Season 2's finale shows how the Federation chose to respond by pulling back within its borders and Starfleet ceasing exploration to focus on protecting itself. Not even Admiral Catherine Janeway, Kate Mulgrew, conjectured that there could be a hidden mastermind behind the Mars attack. Starfleet and the Federation entered a darker period without androids and synthetic life forms, and without Admiral Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, who resigned in protest of the Federation ending its Romulan rescue mission.